Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Darati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrijatam Saganaragunatan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanasahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bando Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Srinvatam Svakata Krishna Punyashravana Kirtana Rityandastoya Bhadrani Vidunuti Suhritsatam Nasta Prayesvabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Before reciting the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Shri Vyasadeva, the author. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma super soul in everyone's heart and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, who cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted, by regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee. All that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Prabhu,
Yeah.
Dhanam Pranam, Jai Shila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Neil Prabhu, Tanda Pranam, Jai Śrīla Prabhupada. Thank you for joining,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my obeisances, O Krishna Prabhupada.
So what are you doing, Gaura Shakti Prabhu? Are you building something?
Yes, I'm still renovating the center.
Yes,
Yeah,
Prabhu.
I have so much thing to do, Prabhu. I'm all alone, so you know.
But what was that? What is the next step?
Um, I will show you because I don't know how to explain in English. So I will make some picture and I will show you. It's better. Yeah. But I have a lot of work.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, the weather was nice at least.
Yeah, when you are alone, it's not easy to build something or renovate something.
Yes,
It's
Prabhu. Yeah, I know.
yeah.
It's very difficult must be.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's okay. It's for Krishna. Jai
Yes.
Shri Prabhupada.
Okay, so today we continue reading about what's the official name of the chapter? Bhishma's passing away. Text number 46. तस्य निर्हरणादीनि सम्पारे तस्य भार्गवा युधिष्ठिरा कारयित्वा मुहूर्तं दुःखितोऽभवत् तस्य his निरारणादीनि nirharanadini funeral ceremony samparetasya of the dead body Bhargava, O descendant of Bhrigu, Maharaj Yudhishthira, Karayitva, having performed it, Muhurtam, for a moment, Dukkita, sorry, Abhavat became. Translation. O descendant of Bhrigu, Saunaka, after performing funeral rituals for the dead body of Bhishma Dev, Maharaj Yudhishthira was momentarily overtaken with grief. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.Z. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Bhishma Dev was not only a great family head of Maharaj Yudhishthira, but also he was a great philosopher and friend of him. His brothers and his mother. Since Maharaj Pandu, the father of the five brothers, headed by Maharaj Yudhishthira, died, Bhishma Dev was the most affectionate grandfather of the Pandavas and caretaker of the widowed daughter-in-law Kunti Devi. Although Maharaj Dhritarashtra, the elder uncle of Maharaj Yudhishthira, was there to look after them, his affection was more on the side of his 100 sons, headed by Duryodhana. Ultimately, a colossal clique was fabricated to deprive the five fatherless brothers of the rightful claim of the kingdom of Hastinapura. There was great intrigue. How is this pronounced? Intricacies. Neil Prabhu, how is this pronounced?
Intrigue.
Intrigue.
Very strange word.
Yes, Prabhu. Common in imperial places, and the five brothers were exiled into the wilderness. But Bhishma Dev was always a sincerely sympathetic well-wisher, grandfather, friend, and philosopher to Maharaj Yudhishthira, even up to the last moment of his life. He died very happily by seeing Maharaj Yudhishthira to the throne, otherwise he would have long ago quitted his material body. Instead of suffering agony over the undue sufferings of the Pandavas, he was simply waiting for the opportune moment because he was sure and certain that the sons of Pandu would come out victorious in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, as his lordship Sri Krishna was their protector. As a devotee of the Lord, he knew that the Lord's devotee cannot be vanquished at any rate. Maharaj Yudhishthira was quite aware of all these good wishes of Bhishma Dev, and therefore he must have been feeling the great separation. He was sorry for the separation of a great soul, and not for the material body which Bhishma Dev relinquished. The funeral ceremony was a necessary duty, although Bhishma Dev was a liberated soul. Since Bhishma Dev was without issue, the eldest grandson, namely Maharaj Yudhishthira, was the rightful person to perform this ceremony. It was a great boon to Bhishma Dev that an equally great son of the family undertook the last rites of a great man. Haribo. Okay, Neil Prabhu, you want to read the next verse?
Is it long, Prabhu? Like, so then I can read. If it is short, then I can read.
It's short, Prabhu.
Okay.
Haribo.
तुच्युत्सुब्रह्मण्योरिस्तः कृष्णान्तर्गुयना नामभिः ततस्ते कृष्ण हृदयः स्वश्रमन् प्रयूपणः. Tusaha satisfied Munyaha, the great sages headed by Vyasadeva, Istaha all in happy mood, Krishnam unto Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, Tat his Guya confidential, Namabihi by his holy name, etc. Tataha thereafter, they, Krishna Hridayaha, persons who always bear Lord Krishna in their hearts, Swa Ashraman to their respective hermitages, Prayuyu return, Punaha again. Translation. All the great sages and glorified Lord Shri Krishna, who was present there by confidential Vedic hymns, that all of them returned to their respective hermitages, bearing always Lord Krishna within their hearts. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
The devotees of the Lord are always in the heart of the Lord, and the Lord is always in the heart of the devotees. That is the sweet relation between the Lord and his devotees. Due to unalloyed love and devotion for the Lord, the devotees always see him within themselves, and the Lord also, although he has nothing to do and nothing to aspire to, is always busy in attending to the welfare of his devotees. For the ordinary living being, the laws of nature is there for all actions and reactions, but he is always anxious to put his devotees on the right path. The devotees are therefore under the direct care of the Lord, and the Lord also voluntarily puts himself under the care of his devotees only. So all the sages headed by Vyasadeva were devotees of the Lord, and therefore they chanted the Vedic hymns after the funeral ceremony just to please the Lord who was present there personally. All the Vedic hymns are chanted to please Lord Krishna. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 15, text number 15. All the Vedas, Upanishads, Vedanta, etc. are seeking him only, and all hymns are for glorifying him only. The sages therefore performed the exact acts suitable for the purpose, and they happily departed for their respective hermitages. Yes, we can continue.
Thank you, Prabhu. Haribol.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Tato Yudhishthiro Gatva Saha Krishno Gaja Vayam Pitaram Santavayamasa Kandarim cha tapasvinim. Tataha thereafter Yudhishthira Maharaj Yudhishthira Katva going there Saha with Krishna the Lord Gaja Vayam in the capital named Gaja Varpa Hastinapura Pitaram unto his uncle Dhritarashtra Santvayamasa specified Gandharim, wife of Dhritarashtra, Cha and Tapasvinim, an ascetic lady. Translation. Thereafter Maharaj Yudhishthira at once went to his capital Hastinapura, accompanied by Lord Sri Krishna, and there he consoled his uncle and aunt Gandhari, who was an ascetic. Purport. Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, the father and mother of Duryodhana and his brothers, were the elder uncle and aunt of Maharaj Yudhishthira. After the battle of Kurukshetra, the celebrated couple, having lost all their sons and grandsons, were under the care of Maharaj Yudhishthira. They were passing their days in great agony over such heavy loss of life, and were practically living the life of ascetics. The dead news of Bhishma, the uncle of Dhritarashtra, was another great shock for the king and the queen, and therefore they required solace from Maharaj Yudhishthira. Maharaj Yudhishthira was conscious of his duty, and he at once hurried to the spot with Lord Krishna and satisfied the bereaved Dhritarashtra with kind words both from himself and the Lord also. Gandhari was a powerful ascetic, although she was living the life of a faithful wife and a kind mother. It is said that Gandhari also voluntarily closed her eyes because of the blindness of her husband. A wife's duty is to follow the husband cent per cent. And Gandhari was so true to her husband that she followed him even in his perpetual blindness. Therefore, in her actions, she was a great ascetic. Besides that, the shock which she suffered because of the wholesale killing of her 100 sons and her grandsons also was certainly too much for a woman. But she suffered all this just like an ascetic. Gandhari, although a woman, is no less than Bhishma Dev in character. They are both remarkable personalities in the Mahabharata. Text number 49. Pitra chanumato raja vasudevanumodita chakara rajyam dharmena pitirpaitamaham vibhu. Pitra by his uncle Dhritarashtra, Cha and Anumata with his approval, Raja King Yudhishthira, Vasudeva Anumodita confirmed by Lord Sri Krishna, Chakara executed. executed. Rajam, the kingdom. Dharmena, in compliance with the codes of royal principles. Peter, father. Paitamaham, forefather. Vibhu, as great as. Translation. After this, the great religious king Maharaj Yudhishthira executed the royal power in the kingdom strictly according to the codes and royal principles which were approved by his uncle and confirmed by Lord Sri Krishna. Purport. Maharaj Yudhishthira was not a mere tax collector. He was always conscious of his duty as a king, which is no less than that of a father or spiritual master. The king is to see to the welfare of the citizens from all angles of social, political, economic, and spiritual upliftment. The king must know that human life is meant for liberating the engaged soul from the bondage of material conditions, and therefore his duty is to see that the citizens are properly looked after to attain this highest stage of perfection. Maharaj Yudhishthira followed these principles strictly, as it will be seen from the next chapter. Not only did he follow the principles, but he also got approval from his old uncle, who was experienced in political affairs, and that was also confirmed by Lord Krishna, the speaker of the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. Maharaj Yudhishthira is the ideal monarch, and monarchy under a trained king like Maharaj Yudhishthira is by far the most superior form of government, superior to modern republics of government of the people by the people. Okay, let's read this again. Maharaj Yudhishthira is the ideal monarch, and monarchy under a trained king like Maharaj Yudhishthira is by far the most superior form of government, superior to modern republics or governments of the people, by the people. The mass of people, especially in this age of Kali, are all born Shudras, especially low-born, ill-trained, unfortunate, and badly associated. Therefore, they themselves do not know the highest perfectional aim of life. Therefore, votes cast by them actually have no value, and thus people elected by such irresponsible votes cannot be responsible representatives like Maharaj Yudhishthira. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purpose of the first canto 9th chapter of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, entitled The Passing Away of Bhishma Dev in the Presence of Lord Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hari Bol. Okay, few seconds. Oh, Shubham Prabhu's data is exhausted, he says. What it means?
I think yeah, he's like his mobile data is finished.
Yes,
Like his
no more
network.
internet.
So
Yeah,
how
no
often
more internet. Yes.
so how often usually they get in the internet gets like, is it once a month or is it like every day?
Every day, like 2 GB every day, like that. You can use 2 GB every day or 1.5 GB. There are various plans.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, it works like that.
Okay.
Did he give a new quiz today?
But Prabhu?
Did Shivam Prabhu give the new quiz today, like new topic for the quiz?
Oh, I'm not sure. I didn't see yet.
Yes, sir.
I
The
asked him
quiz
when
is nice actually. Yeah.
yes,
The quiz are very. I like it. The quiz, like
I need to
you
try
can
it out.
test your knowledge.
I didn't do it
Yes,
yesterday.
sir.
It would be the last one.
Mm.
Lebang Prabhu should try it because he knows these things.
Yes, sir.
Haribol.
So construction going on.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, bro. Yeah, not easy, you know.
Yes, today Prabhu decided I'm gonna build the temple and he put the t-shirt that says, just do it.
Just
Before Jamastami, just do it.
This is very nice. Okay, I think we will start also this next chapter.
Departure of Lord Krishna for Dwarka.
Yes, Prabhu, can you read the first verse?
Is it small? Then I can read. Yeah, it's small. Okay. शौनक उवाच अत्वसरिक्थस्पृधा अताथिनो युधिष्ठिरो धर्मभृतं वरिष्ठः सहानुजे प्रत्यवरुद्ध भोजनः कथं प्रवर्तः किम् अकर्षसि ततः शौनक उवाचः Shaunaka inquired Hatva after killing Swariktha legal inheritance Spradaha desired to usurp Atatayinaha the aggressor Yudhishthiraha King Yudhishthira Dharmavritam of those who strictly follow religious principles Varishtaha greatest Saha Anujaha with his younger brothers Pratyarudhaha restricted Bhojanaha acceptance of necessities Katam how Prabhadata engaged Kim what Akarshit executed Tataha thereafter. Translation. Shonaka Muni asked, after killing his enemies who desired to observe his rightful inheritance, how did the greatest of all religious men, Maharaj Yudhishthira, as assisted by the brothers, rule his subjects? Surely he could not freely enjoy his kingdom with unrestricted consciousness. Purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Maharaj Yudhishthira was the greatest of all men of religion. Thus, he was not at all inclined to fight with his cousins for the sake of enjoying the kingdom. He fought for the right cause because the kingdom of Hastinapura was his rightful inheritance, and his cousins wanted to observe it for themselves. He fought therefore for the right cause under the guidance of Lord Shri Krishna, but he could not enjoy the results of his victory because his cousins were all killed in the fight. He therefore ruled over the kingdom as a matter of duty, assisted by his younger brothers. The inquiry was important for Shonaka Rishi, who wanted to know about the after behavior of Maharaj Yudhishthir when he was at ease to enjoy the kingdom. Tribhuvan. Yes, Prabhu, continue.
Thank you, Prabhu. Sut uvacha vamsam kurorvamsadavagninirhritam samrohayitva bhavanohari niveshayitva nijarajya ishvaro yudhishtiram pritamana babuvaha. Suta uvacha, Suta Goswami replied, Vamsham dynasty Kuroho of King Kuru, Vamshadavagni, forest fire set by the bamboos, Nihritam exhausted, Samroha Yitva, seeding of the dynasty, Bhava Bhavanaha, the maintainer of creation, Hari, the personality of God as Sri Krishna, Niveshayitva, having reestablished, Nijarajya, in his own kingdom, Ishvara, the Supreme Lord, Yudhishtiram, unto Maharaj Yudhishthira, Prita Manaha, pleased in his mind, Babuva, he became. Translation. Sutta Goswami said, Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the maintainer of the world, became pleased after establishing Maharaj Yudhishthira in his own kingdom and after restoring the Kuru dynasty, which had been exhausted by the bamboo fire of anger. Purport. This world is compared with the fire in the forest caused by the cohesion of bamboo bushes. Such a forest fire takes place automatically, For bamboo cohesion occurs without external cause. Similarly, in the material world, the wrath of those who want to lord it over material nature interacts, and the fire of war takes place, exhausting the unwanted population. Such fires or wars take place, and the Lord has nothing to do with them. But because he wants to maintain the creation, he desires the mass of people to follow the right path of self-realization, which enables the living beings to enter into the kingdom of God. The Lord wants the suffering human beings to come back home, back to himself, and cease to suffer the threefold material pangs. The whole plan of creation is made in that way. And one who does not come to his senses suffers in the material world by pangs inflicted by the illusory energy of the Lord. The Lord therefore wants his bona fide representative to rule the world. Lord Sri Krishna descended to establish this sort of regime and to kill the unwanted persons who have nothing to do with his plan. The battle of Kurukshetra was fought according to the plan of the Lord so that undesirable persons could get out of the world and a peaceful kingdom under his devotee could be established. The Lord was therefore fully satisfied when King Yudhishthira was on the throne and the seedling of the dynasty of Kuru in the person of Maharaj Pariksit was saved. Hare Krishna, Shubham Prabhu, Dandar Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Text number 3. Nishamya Bhishmoktamatachutoktam pravritta Vigyana Viduta Vibrama Shashasagam Indraivajitashraya Parijupantam Manujanuvartita. Nishamya, after listening Bhishma Uktam, what was spoken by Bhishma Devata, as also Achyuta Uktam, what was spoken by the infallible Lord Krishna, Pravritta, being engaged in, Vijnana, perfect knowledge, Viduta, completely washed, Vibrama, all misgivings, Shasa, ruled over, Gam, the earth, Indra, the king of the heavenly planet, Iva, like Ajita, Shraya, protected by the invisible Lord, Paridyupantam, including the seas, Anuja, the younger brothers, Anuvartita, being followed by them. Translation. Maharaj Yudhishthira, after being enlightened by what was spoken by Bhishma Deva and Lord Sri Krishna, the infallible engaged himself in matters of perfect knowledge because all his misgivings were eradicated. Thus he ruled over the earth and seas and was followed by his younger brothers. Purport. The modern English love of primogeniture. So this primogeniture means the state of being the firstborn child. Primogeniture. The English love of primogeniture, or the love of inheritance by the firstborn, was also prevalent in those days when Maharaj Yudhishthira ruled the earth and seas. In those days, the king of Hastinapura, now part of New Delhi, was the emperor of the world, including the seas up to the times of Maharaj Parikshit, the grandson of Maharaj Yudhishthira. His younger brothers were acting as his ministers and commanders of state, and there was full cooperation between the perfectly religious brothers of the king. Maharaj Yudhishthira was the ideal king of the representative of Lord Sri Krishna to rule over the kingdom of earth, and was comparable to King Indra, the representative ruler of the heavenly planets. The demigods like Indra, Chandra, Surya, Varuna, Vayu, etc. are representative kings of different planets of the universe, and similarly Maharaj Yudhishthira was also one of them. ruling over the kingdom of the earth. Maharaj Yudhishthira was not a typically an unenlightened political leader of modern democracy. Maharaj Yudhishthira was instructed by Bhishma Dev and the infallible Lord also, and therefore he had full knowledge of everything in perfection. The modern elected executive head of state is just like a puppet because he has no kingly power. Even if he is enlightened like Maharaj Yudhishthira, he cannot do anything out of his own good will due to his constitutional position. Therefore, there are so many states over the earth quarreling because of ideological differences or other selfish motives. But a king like Maharaj Yudhishthira had no ideology of his own. He had but to follow the instructions of the infallible Lord and Lord's representative and the unauthorized agent, Bhishma Dev, the unauthorized agent Bhishma Dev. It is instructed in the Shastras that one should follow the great authority and the infallible Lord without any personal motive and manufactured ideology. Therefore, it was possible for Maharaj Yudhishthira to rule the whole world, including the seas, because the principles were infallible and universally applicable to everyone. The conception of one world state can only be fulfilled if we can follow the infallible authority. An imperfect human being cannot create an ideology acceptable to everyone. Only the perfect and the infallible can create a program which is applicable at every place and can be followed by all in the world. It is the person who rules and not the impersonal government. If the person is perfect, the government is perfect. If the person is a fool, the government is a fool's paradise. That is the love of nature. There are so many stories of imperfect kings or executive heads. Therefore, the executive head must be a trained person like Maharaj Yudhishthira, and he must have the full autocratic power to rule over the world. The conception of a world state can take shape only under the regime of a perfect king like Maharaj Yudhishthira. The world was happy in those days because there were kings like Maharaj Yudhishthira to rule over the world. Text number 4. Kamam vavarsa parjanya sarva kama dugamahi Sisichusma vrajan gava prayasodasvatir muda. Kamam, everything needed. Vavarsha was showered. Parjanya, rains. Sarva, everything. Kama, necessities. Duga, producer. Mahi, the land. Sishichu, sma, moisten. Rajan, pasturing grounds. Gavaha, the cow. Payasa udavashti, due to swollen milk bags. Muda, because of a joyful attitude. Translation. During the reign of Maharaj Yudhishthira, the clouds showered all the water that people needed, and the earth produced all the necessities of man in profusion. Due to its fatty milk bag and cheerful attitude, the cow used to moisten the grazing ground with milk. Purport. The basic principle of economic development is centered about land and cows. The necessities of human society are food grains, fruits, milk, minerals, clothing, wood, etc. One requires all these items to fulfill the material needs of the body. Certainly one does not require flesh and fish or iron tools and machinery. During the regime of Maharaj Yudhishthira, all over the world there were regulated rainfalls. Rainfalls are not in the control of the human being. The heavenly king Intradeva is the controller of rains, and he is the servant of the Lord. When the Lord is obeyed by the king and the people under the king's administration, there are regulated rains from the horizon, and these rains are the cause of all varieties of production on the land. Regulated rains not only help ample production of grains and fruits, but when they combine with astronomical influences, there is ample production of valuable stones and pearls. Grains and vegetables can sumptuously feed a man, and a fatty cow delivers enough milk to supply a man sumptuously with vigor and vitality. If there is enough milk, enough grains, enough fruit, enough cotton, enough silk, and enough jewels, then why do the people need cinemas, houses of prostitution, slaughterhouses, etc.? What is the need of an artificial luxurious life of cinema, cars, radio, flesh, and hotels? Has this civilization produced anything but quarreling individually and nationally? Has this civilization enhanced the cause of equality and fraternity by sending thousands of men into hellish factory and the war fields at the whims of particular men? They say they do equality and this. It is said.
This purport is nice.
Yes, Prabhu. It is said
It's
here
like
that. Yes, Prabhu.
all practical things, like how it is. Yeah.
It is said here that the cows used to moisten the pasturing land with milk because their milk bags were fatty and the animals were joyful. Do they not require, therefore, proper protection for a joyful life by being fed with sufficient quantity of grass in the field? Why should men kill cows for their selfish purpose? Why should man not be satisfied with grains, fruits, and milk, which combined together can produce hundreds and thousands of palatable dishes? Why are there slaughterhouses all over the world to kill innocent animals? Maharaj Parikshit, grandson of Maharaj Yudhishthira, while touring his vast kingdom, saw a black man attempting to kill a cow. The king at once arrested the butcher and chastised him sufficiently. Should not a king or an executive head protect the lives of the poor animals who are unable to defend themselves? Is this humanity? Are not the animals of a country citizens also? Then why are they allowed to be butchered in organized slaughterhouses? Oh, they are so shocked about when the Jews and all this happened. They were killing humans like this, but they do this to animals. They have all around the world these slaughterhouses. So they are not shocked about that.
Yes.
Are these signs of
For them, it has
equality?
become for them
Yes,
it has become normal to kill animals. Like they have become habituated.
yes, bro, but they have not.
They have normalized. They have normalized everything. That's why they think that it is not wrong, but it is actually wrong.
But most, if they would have to kill the animal themselves, they would not kill the animal. They would stop eating meat.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to buy, they think it's some product that is just made in the factory.
Yeah.
Yes, bro. Are these signs of equality and fraternity or non-violence? Therefore, in contrast with the modern advanced civilization form of government, an autocracy like Maharaj Yudhishthira is by far superior to so-called democracy, in which animals are killed and a man less than an animal is allowed to cast votes for another less than animal man. We are all creatures of material nature. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the Lord Himself is the seed-giving Father and the material nature is the mother of all living beings in all shapes. Thus, Mother Material Nature has enough foodstuff both for animals and men, by the grace of the Father, Almighty Sri Krishna. The human being is the elder brother of all other living beings. Now we are like bullies. We are like the bullying big brother. He is endowed with intelligence more powerful than animals for realizing the course of nature and the indications of the Almighty Father. Human civilization should depend on the protection of material nature without artificially attempting economic development to turn the world into a chaos of artificial greed and power only for the purpose of artificial luxuries and sense gratification. This is but the life of dogs and hogs. Prabhu, you want to read the next verse? It's a short one.
So you continue. I'm doing a work. So you continue.
Text number 5. Nadya samudra giraya savanaspati virudaha Palantyoshadaya sarva kamam anvritu tasya vai. Nadia, rivers, samudra, oceans, giraya, hills and mountains, savanaspati, vegetables, virudaha, creepers, palanti, active, oshadaya, drugs, sarvaha, all, kamam, necessities, anvritu, seasonal, tasya, for the king, vai, certainly. Translation. The rivers, oceans, hills, mountains, forests, creepers, and active drugs in every season paid their tax quota to the king in profusion. Purport. Since Maharaj Yudhishthira was under the protection of Ajita, the infallible Lord, as above mentioned, the property of the Lord, namely the rivers, oceans, hills, forests, etc., were all pleased, and they used to supply their respective quota of taxation to the king. The secret to success is to take refuge under the protection of the Supreme Lord. Without his sanction, nothing can be possible. To make economic development by our own endeavors on the strength of tools and machinery is not all. The sanction of the Supreme Lord must be there. Otherwise, despite all instrumental arrangements, everything will be unsuccessful. The ultimate cause of success is the Daiva, or the Supreme. Kings like Maharaj Yudhishthira knew perfectly well that the king is the agent of the Supreme Lord to look after the welfare of the mass of people. Actually, the state belongs to the Supreme Lord. The rivers, the oceans, the forests, the hills, drugs, etc. are not creations of man. They are all creation of the Supreme Lord. And the living being is allowed to make use of the property of the Lord for service of the Lord. Today's slogan is that everything is for the people, and therefore the government is for the people and by the people. But to produce a new species of humanity at the present moment on the basis of philosophy and religion. But to produce a new species of humanity at the present moment on the basis of philosophy and religion, on the basis of justice and peace, on the basis of God consciousness and perfection of human life, the ideology of godly communism, the world has again to follow in the footsteps of kings like Maharaj Yudhishthira or Parikshit. There is enough of everything by the will of the Lord, and we can make proper use of things to live comfortably, without an enmity between man or animal and man or nature. Everywhere the control of the Lord is there, and if the Lord is pleased, every part of nature will be pleased. The river will flow profusely to fertilize the land. The oceans will supply sufficient quantity of minerals, pearls, and jewels. The forest will supply sufficient wood, drugs, and vegetables, and the seasonal changes will effectively help produce fruits and flowers in profuse quantity. The artificial way of living depending on factories and tools can render so-called happiness only to a limited number at the cost of millions. Since the energy of the mass of people is engaged in factory production, the natural products are being hampered, and for this the mass is unhappy. Without being educated properly, the mass of people are following in the footsteps of the vested interest by exploiting natural reserve, and therefore there is acute competition between individual and nation and nation. There is no control by a trained agent of the Lord. We must look into the defects of modern civilization by comparison here, and should follow in the footsteps of Maharaj Yudhishthira to cleanse man and wipe out anachronisms. What is anachronism? A thing belonging or appropriate to a period other than that which it exists, especially a thing that is conspicuously old-fashioned. An act of attribution, a custom, event, or object to a period which it does not belong.
But why did Prabhupada use this word here? Like, what is the context?
Let's read it again. We must look into the defects of modern civilization by comparison here, and should follow in the footsteps of Maharaj Yudhishthira to cleanse man and wipe out anachronisms. Because people say this is old-fashioned thing.
Yes. Yeah, I understand this one. Yes, bro.
Yes, Prabhu. Text number 6. Nadayo vyadaya klesha taiva bhutatma hetava ajata satrava bhavan jantu nam ragnikarhichit. Na, never. Adaya, anxieties. Vyadaya, diseases. Kleshaha, trouble due to excessive heat and cold. Daiva bhutatma, all due to the body, supernatural power, and other living beings. Hetava, due to the cause of Ajata, Shatrau, and to one who has no enemy. Abhavan, happened. Jantunam, of the living beings. Agni, under the king. Karhichid, at any time. Translation. Due to the kings having no enemy, the living beings were not at any time disturbed by mental agonies, diseases, or excessive heat or cold. Purport. To be non-violent to human beings and to be a killer of or enemy of the poor animals is Satan's philosophy. In this age there is enmity against poor animals, and therefore the poor creatures are always anxious. The reaction of the poor animals is being forced on human society, and therefore there is always the strain of cold or hot war between men, individually, collectively, or nationally. At the time of Maharaj Yudhishthira, there were no different nations, although there were different subordinate states. The whole world was united, and the supreme head, being a trained king like Yudhishthira, kept all the inhabitants free from anxiety, diseases, and excessive heat and cold. They were not only economically well-to-do, but also they were physically fit and undisturbed by supernatural power, by enmity of other living beings, and by disturbance of bodily and mental agonies. There is a proverb in Bengali that a bad king spoils the kingdom and a bad housewife spoils the family. This truth is applicable here also. Because the king was pious, obedient to the Lord and sages, because he was no one's enemy, and because he was a recognized agent of the Lord, and therefore protected by him, all the citizens under the king's protection were, so to speak, directly protected by the Lord and his authorized agents. Unless one is pious and recognized by the Lord, he cannot make others happy who are under his care. There is full cooperation between man and God and man and nature, and this conscious cooperation between man and God and man and nature, as exemplified by King Yudhishthira, can bring about happiness, peace, and prosperity in the world. The attitude of exploiting one another, the custom of the day, will only bring misery. Text number 7. उषित्वा हस्तिनापुरे माशान् कतिपयान् हरि सुहृदां च विशोकाय स्वाशुश्च प्रियकाम्यया. Ushitva, staying, Hastinapure, in the city of Hastinapura. Masan, months. Katipayan, a few. Hari, Lord Sri Krishna. Suhridam, relatives. Cha also. Shokaya, for pacifying them. Svasuhu, the sisters. Cha and Priya Kamyaya, for pleasing. Translation. Sri Hari, or Lord Sri Krishna, resided at Hastinapura for a few months to pacify his relatives and please his own sister Subhadra. Purport. Krishna was to start for Dwaraka, his own kingdom, after the battle of Kurukshetra, and Yudhishthira's being enthroned, but to oblige the request of Maharaj Yudhishthira and to show special mercy to Bhishma Dev, Lord Krishna stopped at Hastinapura, the capital of the Pandavas. The Lord decided to stay especially to pacify the aggrieved king as well as to please Subhadra, sister of Lord Sri Krishna. Subhadra was especially pacified because she lost her only son Abhimanyu, who was just married. The boy left his wife Uttara, mother of Maharaj Parikshit. The Lord is always pleased to satisfy his devotees in any capacity. Only his devotees can play the part of his relatives. The Lord is absolute. Amantra Chabyanugya. Oh, what is this? Chabyanugnata. Amantrya Chabyanugnata. Parishvajyabidvadyatam. Aruroharatham kaishit. Parishvakto bivadita. Amantrya, taking permission. Cha and Abhyanugnata, being permitted. Parishvajya, embracing. Abhivadya, bowing down to at the feet. Tam, unto Maharaj Yudhishthira. Aruroha, ascended. Ratham, the chariot. Kaishchid, by someone. Parishvakta, being embraced. Abhivadita, being offered obeisances. Translation. Afterwards, when the Lord asked permission to depart, the king gave it. The Lord offered his respects to Maharaj Yudhishthira by bowing down at his feet, and the king embraced him. After this, the Lord, being embraced by others and receiving their obeisances, got into his chariot. Purport. Maharaj Yudhishthira was the elder cousin of Lord Krishna, and therefore while departing from him, the Lord bowed down at the king's feet, and the king embraced him as a younger brother. Although the king knew perfectly well that Krishna is the supreme person of Godhead, the Lord takes pleasure when some of his devotees accepts him as less important in terms of love. No one is greater than or nor equal to the Lord, but he takes pleasure in being treated as younger than his devotees. These are all transcendental pastimes of the Lord. The impersonalist cannot enter into the supernatural roles played by the devotee of the Lord. Thereafter, Bhima and Arjuna embraced the Lord because they were of the same age. But Nakula and Sahadeva bowed down before the Lord because they were younger than him. Okay, Haribol. Now we go Sikshastakam prayers. Cheto darpanamarjanam pavamahadavagnirvapanam shreyah kairavachantrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam purnamritasvadanam sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam namnamakari bahuda nija sarvashaktis tatrarpitani amita smaranena kala etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi दुर्दैवमिदर्शमि आजानिनानुरागः त्रिनादपि सुनीचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना मानिना मानदेन कीर्तनीया सदा हरि न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितं वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवताद्भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि ऐनन्दतनुजा किङ्करं पतितं मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजास्तिदधूले सदृशं विचिन्तया नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गदारुदया गिरा पुलकर्निशितं वपुः कदा तव नाम गृहणे भविष्यति युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्रविश्यायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे अश्लिष्य वा पादरथं विनष्टु मामदर्शनान् मर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विरातातुलं पतो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव न परः. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. The Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental name energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by chanting holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling of separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain, so even if he handles me roughly in his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me, he is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally. Sri Siksastakam ki jai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. बहुजन्म करे यदि श्रवण कीर्तन tabutan paya Krishna pade premadan. If one is infested with the 10 offenses in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, despite his endeavor to chant the holy name for many birds, he will not get the love of God, that is the ultimate goal of this chanting. The 10 offenses against the holy name are as follows. First offense is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Second offense is to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma to be equal to independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. Third offense is to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Fourth offense is to blaspheme the Vedic literature in Persians to the Vedic version. Fifth offense is to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. Sixth offense is to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord. Seventh offense is to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord. Eighth offense, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, karma kanda. Ninth offense, to instruct the faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10th offense, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names and to maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. Let us offer humble obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like these are trees, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Vancha kalpataru
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindubheva patitanam bhavanibhyo vaishnavibhyo Namo
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhuvascha paitana pavanabhyo
Nanda Kachi
Vaishnavabhayo namo
Vaishnav
namah.
Vrindi ki jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai Nitai Gora
Thank you, Prabhu.
Premanandi
Thank you, Prabhu, for
Hari
association.
Haribo
Thank you, Sai Prabhu, for hosting the reading session.
so much for association. Thank you, Neil Prabhu, for joining.
Let's work.
Ooh. Yes, Prabhu, very nice. You're doing everything.
Prabhu, actually I was late because I always distribute book and because I do everything like you said, and I didn't have time to renovate the center.
Yes, Prabhu.
But now Baladeva, a few days ago, he gave me a lot of strength. He said, "No, you have to renovate it before Jamastami." Yeah, I got this inspiration, and I say, "Okay, I will do it." And,
This is
Yeah, it's going on very, very, very nice.
Yes, Prabhu.
Sometimes there are things that are very heavy. For example, like this. I don't know how to say that. I will show you. This is quite heavy. When
Yes.
you are alone,
Hmm.
and I have to put it on up there.
Hmm.
Just up there. So it's not very easy. But I managed to do it by intelligence. Krishna gave me the intelligence to do it.
Yes,
So
Prabhu.
yeah, it's like this. Yeah. Just wait. Just.
Yeah, this is really nice.
So that's it. It's quite challenging, but when you do it for Krishna, actually, I don't know, but there is something different.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
When I was doing it for myself or for some boss, it was, yeah, I don't know to explain, but yeah, now it's feel different. Like I don't feel tired or I don't feel, I just want to make sure that I can do whatever I can do, for, yeah, to do for doing nice service for him.
Yes,
Actually,
Prabhu. Nice.
this
Big
is
work.
not for me. This is really not for me, but yeah. So now I need to finish the painting also, I will try to finish this tonight. Yeah, I have so much thing to do. So yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you for hosting the lecture.